Okay, this is just a short one tonight because it's the review questions. I'm not gonna try and guess what the answer is or anything like that. I'll just describe what the answers are like. But before the review, there's a bit of writing. Figure 1.23. This gauge reads 50 psi-G. To convert this gauge reading to psi-A, add 15 psi atmospheric pressure to 50 psi-G to get 65 psi-A. We'll read figure 1.24 as well. Digital gauges, digital gauges. Okay, those are. The compound gauge on the left reads pressures above and below atmospheric pressure. The high pressure gauge on the right will read pressures up to 800 psi. The center gauge is a vacuum gauge, which is used for system evacuation. Gauges provided by Appian Inc. Okay. Now to the reading. Gauge pressure is below 0 psi-G in a vacuum. A different formula can be used. Psi-A equals 30 inches of Hg minus the vacuum reading in inches Hg divided by 2. So a pressure reading of 20 inches Hg, which is 20 inches of mercury, can be expressed in Psi-A by substituting this value into the formula. Psi-A equals brackets 30 inches Hg minus 20 inches Hg divided by 2. Psi-A equals 10 inches Hg divided by 2. 20 inches Hg equals 5 psi. Similarly, an absolute pressure psi-A reading can be converted to its equivalent vacuum reading in psi-G by using the following formula. Inches Hg, which is inches of mercury, equals 30 inch Hg minus 2 psi-A. So an absolute pressure reading of 6 psi-A can be converted to inches of mercury as follows. Inches of mercury equals 30 inches of mercury minus 2 times 6 psi-A. Inches Hg equals 30 inches Hg minus 12. 12 psi-A equals 18 inches Hg, which is 18 inches of mercury. Now on to the review questions. Again, I'm just going to read what it says, then I'll just describe the answers that they have listed. Temperature is defined as, and then they have just some things like that could be right. Temperature is defined as, okay. 2. The standard conditions for water to boil at 212 degrees Fahrenheit are, and then it's got like values for atmospheric pressure and values for inches Hg. Fahrenheit, Celsius, Rankine, and Kelvin are, and then it says things like temperature scales, pressure scales, BTU measurements, heat transfer methods. Question 4. Under standard conditions, water freezes at, it's got a bunch of different temperatures. I can't wait for that all to just be like super quick in my head. Molecular motion stops at, it's got a bunch of different temperatures in Fahrenheit. Question 6. 1 British thermal unit will raise the temperature of, then it says things like 1 gallon of water, 1 degree Fahrenheit, 1 pound of water, 1 degree Fahrenheit, 1 pound of water, 1 degree Kelvin, 1 gallon of water, 1 degree Celsius. Yeah. Okay, question 7. In which direction does heat flow? Oh, I already know this. I gotta say the answer because this is fun. My dad got this so ingrained in my head. It always flows from hot to cold. Heat always flows from hot to cold. Okay, question 8. Heat transfer from molecule to molecule is known as, and it's got things like radiation, convection, conduction, evaporation. It's definitely not evaporation. An increase in sensible heat causes, then it's got things like a higher thermometer reading, a lower thermometer reading, no change of the thermometer reading, ice to melt. Question 10. Latent heat causes A, a higher thermometer reading, B, temperature to rise. C, a change of state. D, temperature to fall. Question 11. Heat that is transferred by moving in a medium such as air or water is known as... Heat transferred by moving in a medium such as air or water, and then it's either radiation or convection or conduction. It's not evaporation. 12. Heat that is transferred through space without heating the space and that heats the first solid object that it strikes is known as... I think it's radiation. Heat that transfers through space without heating the space. Yeah. Sorry, I have to tell you, that one's radiation. 13. Specific heat is the amount of heat necessary to raise the temperature of 1 pound of which substance 1 degree Fahrenheit. Then it's got things like water, air, refrigerant, any substance. It's so tricky. This is hard stuff. Okay, question 14. Atmospheric pressure at sea level under standard conditions is blank inches mercury, Hg, or blank pounds per square inch absolute, PSIA. Then it's got some things. The numbers that pop out to me is like A, 14.696. Oh, no, it's not that. No, inches mercury, it's more like 29.92. And then for the latter portion of the question, it's 14.696 PSIA. I just know that from spending so much time in this first section. Okay, 15. 80 degrees Fahrenheit is the equivalent of... I'd have to do some conversion here. Convert Fahrenheit to Celsius. 22 degrees Celsius is the equivalent of... more conversion. Have to convert 22 degrees Celsius into Fahrenheit. Question 17. To change from PSIG to PSIA, you must... I think you got to add 14.696 to PSIG. Yeah. 10 inches mercury is equivalent to... Don't know that. 10 PSIA, 20 PSIA, 25 PSIA, 30 PSIA. Yeah, I don't know that one. 2 PSIA is equivalent to... And it's got a bunch of different values of inches of mercury. 125 PSIG is equivalent to... Yeah, this is like hard. This is all conversion. But yeah, 125 PSIG is equivalent to... And it's got a bunch of PSIA ratings. I think you would just like add 14.696. But don't quote me on that. A barometer is used to measure... a barometer is used to measure... okay, well, it says atmospheric pressure or gauge pressure or absolute pressure or stratospheric pressure. Question 22. What size heater will be required to heat the water in a swimming pool from 70 degrees Fahrenheit to 72 degrees Fahrenheit in 1 hour if the appliance is 100% efficient and the pool holds 20,000 gallons of water? And then it's got a bunch of pretty big numbers. Well, the smallest is 86,000 BTUH. The biggest is 224,000 BTUH. BTUH as in BTUs per hour. Question 23. What size heater will be required to heat the water in a swimming pool from 70 degrees Fahrenheit to 80 degrees Fahrenheit in 5 hours if the appliance is 100% efficient and the pool holds 20,000 gallons of water? Big number, like, I don't know, kind of big numbers, I guess. Like, the lowest is 166,000 BTUs per hour. The biggest is 1,660,000 BTUs an hour. Question 24. How much pressure is exerted downward by a 50-pound solid object that has a base area of 10 square inches? I would need a formula. I'm slowly getting back into like being able to do this stuff, but if it wasn't for these reading videos, I would be so toast. There's no way I could weasel my way back into this without this. Okay, question 25. If a 100-pound solid object exerts a downward force of 200 psi, What is the area of the object's base? And it's got a bunch of different numbers in square inches. 0.25 square inches, 0.50 square inches, 2 square inches, or 4 square inches. I don't know. But this video still ended up being pretty long, over 10 minutes. Okay, I'm glad that we did that. I'm glad that we went over the review questions. All right, that is page 28 and 29. See you guys tomorrow.